All right, hi everybody. Sam here from D&D Newbie Sessions. Tonight I'm going to do a video for the new Players Handbook and build a character. As you can see on the screen, we're going to use the new character sheet and yeah, go through the whole process and see what kind of new things there are. I haven't done this before, so this is kind of a working session. And this is a follow-up to the video I did yesterday, which was basically just kind of like a first impressions of the new book. I gave kind of a high-level overview of what's in it, called out a few specific things that I thought was interesting or cool. But yeah, tonight, let's build a character and see how it goes. One other quick thing that I wanted to mention. So in terms of terms, this is I've been kind of wondering, like, how are we referring, because for a while it was like 1D&D, and then is it 6th edition and stuff like that. So just if in case you're curious like I am, I think the majority that I see is we're calling it like D&D 2024 or the 2024 Players Handbook. That's contrasted by like D&D 2014 or the 2014 Players Handbook. But I did see some people online calling it 5E24 as like the key. And the reason that matters is because you might want to Google something later. For example, on the screen here. Does it pop up? Yeah. You might be able to do 5E24 and then do some sort of, like some sort of query, right? And find relevant information. Okay. Quick little housekeeping item. In the video description, I'll share a link to the new character sheet template because it was actually kind of tricky to find. I thought it would just be like right on the website, but I actually had to find the link on another website that was pointing to this PDF. Unfortunately, it's not directly editable. Like in the past, they've had some PDFs with like these blue boxes that pop up and you can easily type in numbers and text and stuff. This version isn't like that, so I'm going to use Adobe Acrobat and manually add in like text boxes and stuff. So it's going to be a little painful, but it will at least get us through this first build. Okay, so the only thing I've added so far to the character sheet is my character's name up here. I was testing to make sure that this was working the way I thought it was working. So yeah, there's my character name. And we're going to be heading into the Player's Handbook now. To chapter 2. Oh, and if I'm looking to the side, it's because I've got some notes and my OBS broadcaster thing is over here, so I'd just be making sure it's still recording and audio levels look okay. Okay, but anyway, chapter 2, creating a character. And in the video yesterday, I previewed this section and called out that they have like a steps. Well, you won't really be able to see it with the small camera, but they have steps 1 through 5 listed out. And then on the next page, which is cool, they have a character sheet. And it's got all these numbers on it. And those numbers correspond to the step that you're taking. So for example, step 1 is choose a class. So we can focus on the choose a class section. Which we'll do in a second. And then you can look at the character sheet that's in here, look for all the number 1s, fill them in, then move on to step 2, fill in all the number 2s, and so on. Which is cool. I mean, it's a smart idea. Makes it a lot easier to kind of break down the process rather than it being really overwhelming and trying to figure out which box to focus on and whatnot. Okay, so I'm gonna, anytime I play RPGs, fantasy games, tabletop, anything, I always build a druid first. It's just my favorite class. I love it. No matter what the game is, I love like nature, magic, and shape-shifting and all that sort of cool stuff. So that's what I'm going to build tonight. My character's name is going to be Pharaoh, which is just a name I've used for different games and video games and things. And so the first step here, choose a class. They've got a table here, lists out all the classes, what they like, primary ability, complexity. For Druid, it says Druids like nature. The primary ability is wisdom, and the complexity is high. And I'm okay with that because I'm experienced player in DM, so that should be fine. Okay, So looking at the character sheet now that the sample they give, I'm going to be filling out things like class, subclass, level, and armor training. And that's it for the first one. Okay, so to do that though, I need to head deeper into the book here. And I'm going to be jumping forward now to the Druid section of the book. This is kind of random too. I would normally switch the camera so it would be the big camera and then you could see easier, but the latest version of OBS is glitchy. And when I switch to the full webcam, it just completely fails. So you're stuck with the tiny camera, unfortunately. Okay, I'm on the Druid page, page 79, if you're following along in your own book. And I already, just to save a little time so it wasn't like me literally reading a bunch of stuff, I did kind of look through this to hopefully just kind of highlight some of the main things. So, but I mean, let's pretend that I'm, completely fresh to this. I would probably want to start with maybe just reading the text, right? Is this the right class? Is this actually what I want to play? It's going to give me a little bit of background on them. The first thing it really tells me to do, though, is as a level 1 character, I gain all the traits in the core Druid traits table, which is right away at the beginning. So there's the graphic for the Druid, and then there's this table right here. And that has some things to call out. So, okay, let's take a look. So primary ability is Wisdom. My hit point die is a D8 per Druid level. So let's see. Actually, when does it say to actually do that part? Hit points, hit dice. It actually calls out doing that at step 5. So, okay, that's fine. We can skip that for now. One thing we can fill in right away, though, is our level. So I'm just going to put level 1. Okay. And then we're going to do Druid. Subclass, we don't know yet. We haven't gotten that far. Let's see, saving throw proficiencies, intelligence and wisdom. Okay, so for this, I'm going to do the highlighter, intelligence, saving throw. So I'm going to darken in this circle here, and wisdom saving throw there. Cool. Skill proficiencies, I get to choose 2. Arcana, animal handling, insight, medicine, nature, perception, religion, or survival. If you don't know what any of those are, then you'll need to look those up in the book. I actually don't remember where that was. If that's probably towards the beginning. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Somewhere in here, they'll give a breakdown, though, of what those are. I remember seeing a table for it, and they kind of, I'm probably not going to be able to find it super fast. If I stumble upon it later, I'll show it. But basically, there's a table in the book that I saw lists out all the skills, and then, like, I think it was the table that had, like, example usage, which is perfect, because then it'll give you an idea of, like, when you might actually use that thing. I know what these are, though, so I am going to go with animal handling for 1. Gotta have animal handling. And I think I'll do insight. I really like insight as an ability because if I am talking to an NPC and I want to get a read on their general vibe, whether they might be lying to me or something, it is super helpful. Not to mention, I feel like it can just kind of pop up in various random ways and assist you during the game. However, I will say that medicine would be great, perception's great, but I'm going to go with these 2. All right, weapon proficiencies, we've got simple weapons. So equipment training and proficiencies. Let me just double check something here. Equipment's down here, so yeah. Simple weapons. Okay. Tool proficiency is herbalism. Herbalism kit. Cool. Okay. One thing to keep in mind, this is my proficiencies. So this is, I'm proficient with simple weapons and proficient with an herbalism kit. I don't necessarily have these as items yet. I can just use them adequately. All right, armor training, light armor, and shields. Okay, so these look like ones I could fill in. So light, oops. Isn't this the highlighter? Okay, hold on. Okay. Why is it a text thing? Oh, you gotta love these tools sometimes. Okay, I don't want a text box. Well, that's super annoying. Is this in the way? No. Oh, God. Oh, I hate stuff like this. Okay, let's go back. Back. All right, can I move this back? And man, that is very annoying. Okay, I'm gonna do that. All right, there we go. Whatever. Light armor and shields. That's what really matters. Starting equipment. Choose A or B. So for A, I could do leather armor, shield, sickle, druidic focus, quarterstaff, explorer's pack, herbalism kit, and 9 gold pieces, or I could take 50 gold pieces. I'm going to take the items. That's what I recommend too. If you're a newbie and you're getting started, just take the starting equipment. It's going to be a nice mix of things you need, good adventuring gear. If you're more experienced and your DM's okay with it, you could take the money and then work with your DM to purchase some items. For example, you might be like, I mean, in my case even, I don't really want a sickle. That's not a weapon I'm interested in. So taking the 50 gold, I could make maybe a more a better purchase. But again, for like a newbie game, just getting started, the starting equipment here is totally adequate. Okay, so let's just type these in quick. So we got some leather armor, we've got a shield, sickle, druidic focus, which is the quarterstaff. So I'm just gonna put quarterstaff. Oops. Maybe in parentheses I'll put that it's my focus for casting. Explorer's pack. And if you don't know, you can look up the Explorer's pack. I'm assuming it's in the equipment section. If not, you could just do a quick Google search for Explorer's pack. And inside the Explorer's pack, there is additional items. And a lot of times you could even, you could in parentheses put what those are. It's probably stuff like a torch and rope and things like that. Okay, there's my herbalism kit. So now I can actually, not only am I proficient with it, now I can actually use it. And then I have 9 gold pieces left over. So, okay, I think these are text box. Or I gotta put the text box. Gold pieces, GP, 9. Okay. If you're wondering what the other abbreviations are, we got copper, silver, electrum, gold, and then platinum. Okay, perfect. So that is the first step. We're already making good progress here. Let's see, gain all the traits in the core druid tape. Now gain the druid's level 1 features, which are listed in the druid features table. So if I go to the next page here, we've got the druid features table, this big old box right here. And this box or table tells you some important things. For example, at level 1, my proficiency bonus is +2, so that's relevant. let's go find our proficiency bonus box, which is right there, and put in our +2. And I'm going to get class features, which are spellcasting, cast spells, which we'll learn about in a bit. Druidic, level 1 Druidic, which is a language, and we'll cover that in a second. And I also get Primal Order, and again, cover that shortly. I don't get Wild Shape yet, so no transforming into beasts. I get 2 cantrips, 4 prepared spells, and 2 first level spell slots. So let's see here. I believe we could start to note some of that down. So we've got the proficiency. Let's take a look at the spellcasting area. Oops. Okay, there we go. Why is there a cursor there? Spell slots, level 1 total. Okay, we could note that down. And it said we have 2 of them. You can think of spell slots like ammunition. So I have 2 shots at level 1, then I'm out of ammo, can't cast any more level 1 spells. Okay. I can have 4 prepared spells. I don't see anywhere to like note down that special. 2 cantrips, same deal. I think we'll basically just, well, what we could do actually, we could put level 0, level 0, level 1, level 1, level 1, and level 1. Those are indicating the 2 cantrips and the 4 first level spells. So let me kind of organize this a little bit. Got to make it nice and neat. Okay. Cool. Let's see, anything else? Okay, it looks like we can maybe focus on the spell casting next. So in this section, level 1 spell casting, you have learned to cast spells through studying the mystical forces of nature. See Chapter 7 for the rules on spellcasting. We don't need that right now. We can just kind of proceed forward. So cantrips, you know 2 cantrips of your choice from the Druid spell list. Druidcraft and Produce Flame are recommended. Okay, so before making a decision, I can jump forward a couple pages. And again, it will be hard to see, but if this is a couple pages forward in the Druid section, and they give you these tables that tell you a kind of a summary of Druid cantrips, Druid spells. That way you're not necessarily going straight to the spell section and trying to like look stuff up. This will give you, these are the Druid ones that are relevant. Okay, so of the cantrips, I'm going to take Mending, because I think that is just a fun cantrip to have. And I am going to, Message would be really good, but I probably should have something, ooh man. I'm going to do Shillelagh, because if anybody gets close, I want to be able to cast that on my quarterstaff and make it more powerful, so I can actually protect myself or my buddies. Okay, those would be good. Let's see here. So, so casting time and the rest of the details, we'll have to look them up in the spells section of the book in a bit. But let's finish choosing level 1 spells. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Cure Wounds. That way I can heal myself or others. I'm gonna go with Fairy Fire. Can give advantage on attacks against the people that are lit up. Um, Thunderwave. I always love having Thunderwave. And Speak with Animals is always super fun too. Okay, sweet. Okay, cantrips and spells are selected. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's take a look at the other items now. Okay, so we've got our 2 cantrips. We've got our spell slots. We've got our, let's see. I feel like, let me check something really quick in the old book. So in the old book, the old character sheet, they have these, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, but on the spells page here, there's these circles. So when you listed out a spell, you could darken in the circles to indicate that those are your prepared spells. And I don't see an equivalent here. Which is weird. Am I just missing it? Level, name, casting time, range, concentration, ritual, material, notes. Spell slots expended, total. Okay. Am I missing something here? 2 spell slots, 4 prepared spells. I guess not. I guess they're just... Hold on. Okay, let me read this for a second. Spell slots. Your feature tells you level 1 plus spells. You gain all expended. You prepare the list of level 1 spells that are available for you to cast with this feature. To start, choose 4 level 1 spells from the Druid spell list. They give recommendations again. Animal Friendship, Cure Wounds, Fairy Fire, and Thunder Wave. The number of spells on your list increases as you gain Druid levels, as shown in the Prepared Spells column of the Druid Features table. So like at level 2 we go up to 5, at level 3 we go up to 6, etc. Okay. Whenever that number increases, choose additional spells from the Druid spell list until the number of spells on your list matches the number on the table. So we just keep adding some. The chosen spells must be of a level for which you have spell slots, which makes sense. So right now we only have level 1 spell slots, so we only have level 1 spells. At level 3, we get level 2 spell slots, which means we could start to select level 2 spells. Okay. Let's see. Chosen spells. Blah, blah. For example, if you're level 3 druid, your list of prepared spells can include 6 spells of level 1 and level 2 in any combination. If another druid feature gives you spells that you always have prepared, those spells don't count against the number of spells you can prepare with this feature, but those spells otherwise count as druid spells for you. Okay. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can change your list of prepared spells, replacing any of the spells with other druid spells for which you have spell slots. So I guess you would just come in here and delete them and then swap them in. So you do a long rest, you'd be like, I don't want Fairy Fire anymore. I'm going to swap it out with something else, as opposed to maybe leaving both but darkening in the circle. Okay, I guess that's fine. Oh, one other thing we can note. So our spellcasting ability, Wisdom, is your spellcasting ability for druid spells. So we could put that in here. Okay. Spellcasting focus. You can use a druidic focus as a spellcasting focus for your spells. We got our quarterstaff, so we're good there. Okay. I guess that's good for now then. Okay, let's take a look at these other items. So level 1, we learn Druidic, the secret language of Druids. So I'm going to put that down here. Okay. You also unlock the magic communicating with animals. You always have the speak with animals spell prepared. Okay, so that's important because we just learned that, where did that say that? If another druid feature gives you spells that you have always prepared, those spells don't count against the number of spells you can prepare with this feature. So that means that we always have speak with animals prepared. So that one does not count against my 4 prepared spells. So that means I get to choose another one. So let's do, I guess Charm Person. That's always a good one too. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. You can use Druidic to leave hidden messages. You and others who know Druidic automatically spot a message. Others have to make a check, but can't decipher it without magic. So that's good. We got everything noted there. Then the next thing to choose is called Primal Order. You've dedicated yourself to one of the following sacred roles of your choice. A magician or a warden. Magician. You know 1 extra cantrip from the druid spell list. In addition, your mystical connection to nature gives you a bonus to your intelligence, arcana, or nature checks. The bonus equals your wisdom modifier, minimum bonus of +1. This one, when I read that the first time, because I was looking at this ahead of time, like I mentioned, that did not make a lot of sense to me. So I did some Googling around, came across this on Reddit, and I think it was this explanation. You get both the Way 5 each. So what they are trying to communicate here is add your wisdom modifier to any intelligence roll that you add either your nature or arcana proficiency bonus to. I think that's a good way to say it. So basically, if we go back to the character sheet and we do, if there is an arcana check or a nature check at some point, normally we would rely on the intelligence modifier for that roll. But this is saying that since wisdom is better for us, we can actually use wisdom. No, wait. In addition, your mystical connection to nature gives you a bonus to your intelligence checks, arcana or nature. The bonus equals your wisdom modifier. So that, okay. Actually, wait, let me go back. That still is kind of confusing. I'm assuming add your wisdom modifier to any intelligence roll. Okay, so I think it's on top of, meaning we would roll like normal, d20 plus my intelligence modifier bonus for arcana or nature. So let's say it was a +2. So d20 +2, but then I also on top of that get to add my wisdom modifier. So it's going to give me a boost whenever that skill check is made. I believe that's what that's saying, which is cool. I mean, that's a nice little bonus. Plus we get to choose another cantrip. And for example, then I could get message, which would be really cool. Or produce flame for like a ranged fire attack. Alternatively, I can do warden. Trained for battle, you gain proficiency with martial weapons and training with medium armor. Which, as the way that I play druid, I feel like not super helpful. I typically just rely on my quarterstaff and shillelagh. I want to transform into animals and fight as the animal. And I like having utility spells that are useful in kind of different scenarios and stuff. So I don't really care about wielding lots of different weapons. And I mean, medium armor would be nice, but I can get by with light armor. So I'm going to go with Magician. And for the cantrip, let's do that first. So we've got Mending and Shillelagh. Let's do Produce Flame. Having that ranged attack would be really nice. Okay, and then later I might want to come in here and reorganize this, but that's fine for now. Okay, so we got our extra cantrip, and then I'm going to get the Wisdom boost to Arcana and Nature. I'm not sure how to indicate that, though. I don't want to darken in the circle, because that's telling me that I have proficiency with that. So maybe what I would do is come in here later. I'll have to try to remember this, I guess. For now, what I'll do is I'll type +Wiz. And then I think maybe the way to do it is, let's say Arcana again is +2. I might want to just type it as like 2 plus, let's say my Wisdom was 3. So maybe 2 + 3 or something like that. Or I could do it 2 + Wiz. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the spells really fast. I think I'll just do one example because otherwise this video is going to get really long. So let's do Fairy Fire. So now I'm going to chapter 7. It's got a list of all of the spells, alphabetical, and I'm looking for Fairy Fire here. It's a level 1 evocation spell. It is used by bards and druids. Casting time is 1 action. So I'm going to put 1 action. Do it that way. The range is 60 feet. Okay. It is a concentration spell up to a minute. I can't. Oh, God, it's so annoying. I'm going to have to do this weird thing. Oh, I hate that so much. Oh, wait, here we go. No. All right, there we go. Good enough. Crap. There we go. Okay. Good enough. And then there is a little section for notes. There's not much room there, but maybe I could note down a few keywords like... So I'm looking at the spell description. Oops, I'm putting this all in the wrong spot too, by the way. Sorry about that. This is for Fairy Fire. So this should be down here. Here. Can I move this? Okay, 1 action, 60 feet, concentration, and then I'm going to put a few notes. So from the description, it mentions a 20-foot cube and outlined in a color of your choice. Each creature is outlined. If it fails a dex saving throw, so I might want to note like dex save. Let's make the text smaller here. Okay. They cast or shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Can't benefit from invisible condition. Attack rolls have advantage. So I'm just gonna put ADV for advantage. So basically, it's a 20-foot cube. They need to make a dex save, and if they fail to save, I'm gonna get me and my party are gonna get advantage on them. That mostly covers it. Most likely, as a new player, I'm probably going to have to go to the spell section, look up Fairy Fire each time until I memorize how it works. Cool. Okay, so obviously I would do that with the rest of the spells here and go one by one, add in the details, but as mentioned, that's going to take too long, so let's move on. Okay, where are we at now? We have chosen a class. It had mentioned subclass, but I don't think we get that yet. Let me see here. Druid subclass is at level 3, so we don't need to note that down yet. So that sounds good. And then if we check out step 1 again, I think we've got it all covered. Step 2 is determine origin. So now we're going to jump forward in the book to chapter 4, character origins. This section of the book covers some backgrounds and your species, aka what was formerly known as races. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I think I already decided earlier what I wanted to do, but basically in this section of the book you get this kind of cool there's like some cool art. Each page has a couple backgrounds on it. I'm going to do this one right here. It's called the guide or guide background. And let's see here. Okay, so first up it's talking about ability scores. A background lists 3 of your character's ability scores. Increase 1 by 2 and another one by 1, or increase all 3 by 1. None of these increases can raise a score above 20. Well, we haven't done ability scores yet, so I guess, let's see, when do they recommend that happen? Determine ability scores in step 3. Okay. Okay. How should we note that down? I guess what I'm going to do is just put like +1, +1, +1 as our little reminder up here. Is there not a good place to put this? Okay, we'll put it right there for now. So hopefully that we'll remember to come back and do that. A background gives your character a specified origin feat described in chapter 5. We'll check that out in a bit. Background gives your character proficiency in 2 specified skills. Let's see here. Let me just make sure this is all matching up so far. So, yep, so we got our feats, we got our skill proficiencies, then we get tool proficiencies, and then some additional equipment. Each background offers a choice between a package of equipment and 50 gold pieces. Okay. All right. So let's check out here. Okay, first up is the feat. Is there a special place? Okay, well, first up we can put guide here for the background. And species, traits, feats, here we go. So we have magic, initiate, druid. I guess we'll just note it down for now. Magic, initiate, druid. Okay. Actually, wait, let me go back for a second for ability scores. So a background lists 3 of your character's ability scores. Increase 1 by 2 and another 1 by 1, or increase all 3 by 1. I wonder if I should maybe do it this way. So +1. So I'm kind of tentatively thinking I'm just going to do 1, 1, 1 instead of 2, 1. I might want to change that, but so the ones that listed were Dex, put it there, I guess, Constitution, and Wisdom. Okay, let's do it that way, just as a little reminder. Those are the ability scores. They can be raised. Okay, we got feat noted. Now we have skill proficiencies, stealth, and survival. So this is where we need to darken in those circles. So stealth and survival. Okay. Tool proficiency, cartographer's tools. Oops, no, wait, that was here. So let's just put a comma here. Cartographer's tools. Okay. Remember, that's a proficiency, not necessarily that I have those items. And then I'm going to take the actual equipment as opposed to the gold, because again, they're pretty good about making sure that the equipment they give you in these things are relevant, and it's the easiest option for a new player as well. Okay, so let's add on to our equipment here. We are getting a short bow, and I'm gonna just put like 20 arrows like that. We do get the cartographer's tools, bedroll, 20. Oops, come on. 20 arrows. I don't know, quiver, I guess I'll do something like that. Those all seem like they can be on the same line. Wow, this, I really don't like Adobe Acrobat. I'm learning. Okay. Quiver, I have a tent. Traveler's clothes. And 3 gold pieces. Okay. So now I'm up to 12 gold pieces. Perfect. Okay. That is everything for the background. Now we're going to do a species, which is just a little bit further in this section. As noted yesterday when I was doing the first impressions, the species section seems a little strange to me. Like, most of the other sections and chapters and stuff, they have like this big picture that kind of kicks off the section, like your class or whatever. In this one, it's just like immediately you're in the species. So it's almost like it's, in a sense, almost like easy to miss. Yeah, so essentially you go straight from backgrounds with like nice big pictures to just suddenly you're in the species. And the other thing is there's only 1 page per species, as opposed to like in the old Players Handbook. Like yesterday, I took a look, compared the dwarf. There's really a half page in here. So like, here's the dwarf, half page. In the 2014 version, it was like 3 pages, pretty much full pages. Okay, so species. Oh, and the other thing they don't do here is, unless they do it here, they don't give you like a table. Like in some of the other ones, they give you a table that summarizes all the species as well, and might tell you like what they are like or something, but they don't do that for some reason. For example, here's like what I would imagine the species section should have looked like. Character classes, nice big picture, overview of all the classes. It seems weird that, yeah, there's not an equivalent, but I guess we'll just have to flip through and choose. So Aasimar, no. Dragonborn, I like them. Dwarf, elf, gnome, Goliath, halfling, human or orc, tiefling, and that's it. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a Dragonborn. Dragonborns are fun. Sounds kind of interesting. So let's see. Let's do our species up here. Okay. Again, a little bit of a description about Dragonborns, but otherwise I'm going to jump to the Dragonborn traits section. So I'm a humanoid. My size is medium. I guess they want you to put that in this box. So let's do medium, and just for the current purposes, we'll just say 6 feet. 6 feet tall. Speed 30 feet. All right. As a Dragonborn, you have these special traits. Draconic Ancestry. Okay, so this is where I get to choose a type of Draconic ancestor that I come from, I guess. So I am going to do... So basically what it's asking here is I could have ancestry from like a black dragon or a blue dragon or brass or bronze, copper, gold, green, red, silver, or white, and then each one maps to a different type of damage. For whatever reason, lightning is really catching my eye right now. So let's do blue. That sounds pretty sweet. So blue dragon, lightning damage. Do I note that down anywhere here? Class features. Oh, this is where I could have written down a little bit of details about those, like Warden versus Magician and stuff. I think we were actually okay not having to do that. Although actually, wait, let me, just so I don't like miss a step here, just give a quick example. So what I actually could have note down in this class features section is like druidic messages DC 15 intelligence. So the reason I might write that down is just so I have a quick mental note that if I come across a druidic message, I can read it automatically. I can spot it and read it. But others would have to make a DC 15 intelligence check, investigation check. Although they can't decipher it anyway, but at least they would be able to spot it. So something along those lines. And I feel like we're actually covered with this here, so we don't really need to note down the whole magician thing. In the future, though, when I level up, I might want to note in the section stuff about wild shape and like how it works, or let's see, wild resurgence at level 5. I might want to note down something about that. If you have no uses of wild shape left, you can give yourself 1 use by expending a spell slot. Yeah, so that would be a good thing to probably have like just a short little sentence about. Okay, that'll cover us for now though. And let's finish out the Dragonborn. So I was wondering about species traits. Okay, so I'm gonna, in this box, I'm gonna put down blue lightning. Maybe like blue dash lightning. And that's, again, just a quick mental note that I have blue dragon ancestry and I use lightning damage. Okay, I also get breath weapon. You can take the attack action on your turn. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of your attacks with an exhalation of magical energy in either a 15-foot cone or a 30-foot line that is 5 feet wide. Choose the shape each time. That's cool. Okay, so the enemies make a save. There's some damage. So this will be a lightning attack. You can use this breath weapon a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Cool. Let's see. So I think I could write it in the species traits box. I could also put it up here. Weapons and damage cantrips. I could put it in the spells section. What makes sense though? I kind of feel like it should be up here with my weapons. So we'll do breath weapon. Attack bonus DC. DC 8 plus your constitution modifier and proficiency bonus. So right now we're just going to have to say DC 8 plus con plus 2. And then that, we'll have to come back here and calculate that once we roll stats. Okay. Damage and type. So the damage is... On a failed save, a creature takes 1d10 damage of the type determined. On a successful save, a creature takes half. So I'm going to put down 1d10 lightning. Okay. And in the notes I could put like half on save. 15, let's say 15 cone or 30 line, something like that. Okay, cool. Next up, damage resistance. You have resistance to the damage type determined by your ancestry. Probably another traits. You know, I think the old character sheet, let me double check, had a section for resistances, or am I going crazy here? Maybe I'm just thinking of D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond has that one box. Yeah, I don't see it on the old character sheet. Nope, okay. So, if that's the case, then I'm just going to note it here. So, resistance to lightning damage. Dark vision, out to 60 feet. I think dark vision is one word, yep. 60 feet. And I also have draconic flight. When you reach character level 5, so I don't have that yet. But I feel like I should note it down because that seems like something I would totally forget about. You know, I'd get to level 5, I'd go to the class page, and I'd completely forget to come back to species. So I'm going to just put it at the bottom. Draconic flight at level 5. I'll kind of hide that down there for now. Cool. Okay. That is everything for Dragonborn. Now we can jump way back in the book to the creating a character section. We have completed step 1. We have completed step 2. Although it does ask some questions. How did the character spend the years leading up to a life of adventure? Who are the character's ancestors? You can also choose your character's languages. Okay, so this is where, yeah, backstory and personality could come in based on those questions. So maybe, I don't know, leading up to a life of adventure. I mean, he was a druid. I'll say maybe like studying at a college, left to experience the world, something like that. Who are your character's ancestors? Maybe like a long lineage back to some big blue dragon. TBD. We can figure out more about that later. And then, you know, blah, blah, blah. Could have some more in there. And also choose languages. Okay, I actually don't know where the languages are, so let's look it up in the index. And languages are not in here. Oh no, language. 37. 37. Okay. Standard language, rare languages, choose languages. Your character knows at least 3 languages. Common plus 2 languages you roll or choose from the standard languages table. Oh, I see. So you could roll a 1d12 and then choose and then have the outcome. That kind of sounds fun. Well, okay, let's list here. So we've got Druidic, we've got Common, and then let's go into Google here and do a roll 1d12. 10. Halfling. And let's do one more. Common, only common languages, right? From the standard languages table, yes. The rare languages table lists languages that are either secret or derived from other planes of existence and thus less widespread. Some features let a character learn a rare language. So that appears to, yeah, that's not relevant at this particular point. So let's do another roll. 11. 11's the same, so let's do again. 12. Orc. All right. Kind of an interesting mix. Okay, we got our languages. Sweet. Okay, I think we're on to step 3, but this is actually a good time to come back to that character sheet page with the circles and just double check everything. So background, species, size and speed, we've got all of that figured out. Boop, 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 boop. Yep. We've got our proficiency bonus in there. We have skills selected. Stealth and survival. Oh, wait a minute. Did I forgot to note down where was that? Skill proficiencies. Choose 2. Did I not put those in here? I thought I did. Okay, that's weird. Maybe the tool's messing with me again. Animal handling and insight. There we go. Okay. Got those covered now. We got our weapon proficiencies, which it calls out there. Tool proficiencies, species traits, feats. Oh, we didn't look up feats yet, though. That we could actually look that up. Backstory, yep. Languages, equipment, coins. Cool. So step 2, it looks like we're all covered. The only thing we didn't check was back in the origins. I think it's after species. Let me check here. Yeah. So after the species pages, we get to feats. And this is where I can look up the magic initiate druid. Under origin feats. And magic initiate druid says you gain the following benefits. 2 cantrips of your choice from, oh no. Well, it says of your choice from the cleric, druid, or wizard spell list. But I believe in this particular case, we chose the guide, which specifically called out the druid. So I think I'm choosing 2 cantrips from the druids list. Intelligence, wisdom, or charisma is your spellcasting ability for this feat spells. Choose when you select this feat. Well, we're going to choose wisdom because that's going to be our highest score. And it'll be consistent with all the other spellcasting. Choose a level 1 spell from the same list. You always have that spell prepared, so it's not going to count against us. You can cast it once without a spell slot, and you regain the ability to cast it in that way when you finish a long rest. You can also cast a spell using any spell slots you have, meaning Yeah, so you get it's the flexibility of not burning a spell slot, but then being able to cast it again using a spell slot. Whenever you gain a new level, you can replace one of these spells you choose for this feat with a different spell of the same level from the chosen spell list. Okay, so they're calling that out just because that's different than changing them on a long rest. Repeatable, you can take this feat more than once, but you must choose a different spell list each time. All right. Again, without getting too crazy, because this is already running long, you know what? Because I already kind of covered how this works, let's just pretend that I did this. But basically, I would go back to the Druid section, back to that list of cantrips, choose 2 more. Then I would choose another level 1 spell, and the main thing I would want to do here is note down this special functionality. So I would want to note down that it does not cost a spell slot for the first cast. That's the main thing. Otherwise, I might forget, burn a spell slot unnecessarily. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back now. Determine ability scores. Step 3. Much of what your character does in the game depends on your character's 6 abilities. Okay. It actually doesn't tell me where to... Oh, no. Okay. So if you go forward a few pages, we get from step 1 to step 2. It gives some more details about these different sections. And actually, this is good to note because it might be worth reading these, then jumping forward into the book, because this is noting down some potentially helpful information. Okay. Oh, yeah, and it notes down things like which backgrounds map well to certain ability scores. That's definitely helpful to know. So like the guide that I chose maps well, looks like, to the dexterity ability. It gives you some more questions about background and backstory as well. Okay, but let's do step 3, determine ability scores. To determine your character's ability scores, you first generate a set of 6 numbers using the instructions below, and then assign them to your abilities. Generate your scores. Standard array, random generation, which would be rolling dice, or point cost, point buy. I think for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do standard array. I think that makes sense. However, in a lot of games, I would actually roll for my stats. Once you've generated your 6 scores, so we're going to automatically have them generated because standard array gives us 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Assign them to the abilities, keeping in mind your class's primary ability. So, for example, I want 15, the highest, to go to Wisdom. There we go. Oops. Okay. 15, if I look at the ability scores and modifiers table, a 15 gives me +2. Okay, but I'm also gonna, from the guide, I get a +1 to my Wisdom, which is gonna bump it up to a 16, which is a +3. So now I'm gonna change these. 16 +3, and then I think I'm just gonna delete. Maybe for like record keeping, I'm gonna put this like right here. Wisdom +1. That way I'll remember like how this got generated down the line. All right. Let's see, do they standard array by class? Oh, that's cool. So this section of the book, again, hard to see, I apologize, but there's a table here. It looks like it's showing how they recommend putting in your numbers depending on the class you selected. So for example, they're suggesting that my strength could be 8, the lowest. Wisdom is the highest at 15. And then it looks like they suggest Constitution, then intelligence, then dexterity, then charisma, which I'm sure that's perfectly fine to follow this. The examples of when you might not want to follow it would be, for whatever reason, I am a particularly strong druid, then I definitely want a higher strength. Or if I'm really charismatic for some reason and I'm going to be using a lot of charisma-based abilities, then I would probably want my charisma to be higher than a 10. But again, for the sake of the video, let's go with the standard array. That sounds great. And then, the other thing I mentioned in the other video yesterday was they also have this right here. And what it lists is each of your abilities, and it says it's basically like high versus low. I think you can roll on it for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why you would do that. But what I like about it is it gives you an idea. Like if I have a high strength, I'm muscular, sinewy, protective, direct. If I have a low strength, I'm weak, slight, self-conscious, indirect. I think that's awesome actually. Like they give a sense of what each of these mean or could look like. All right, Druid, let's go with a strength of 8. Right there. No other bonus, so an 8 is going to give me a -1. And again, if you're wondering where these are coming from, it's this little box right here in the book. And what it's telling, it's saying, what is your score? And based on that score, here's what your modifier is. Okay, next up is dexterity. And they suggest a 12, but it's actually going to be a 13 with the +1. Oops, I keep putting it in the wrong spot. Okay, 13 maps to a +1. Okay. 14 for Constitution. But that was also a +1, so it's going to be a 15. 15 was the +2. Okay. Intelligence 13. No bonus on that one, so we're just getting a +1 there. And we're missing charisma, which was the 10. Okay. And 10 was a 0, I believe. Yep. So no bonus. Oh, one other thing I'll note is, so the way that I did it here was I did +1, +1, +1 for those origin bonuses. But depending on your build, you might want that +2 for one of these abilities, because a +2 might get you over, like let's say you had a 12, so my 12 was in dex. If I did the +2 on dex, it's going to bump it up from a +1 modifier to a +2. Obviously the consequence there would be that I might be dex +2, wisdom +1, and con would get no bonus. And if I did that, that's actually a great example of one that I should actually do that, because con was 14, right? Yeah, so this is perfect example. So I'm going to go back down to a 14 because it still stays at a +2. I'm going to delete this. Yeah, I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to change my dex to +2. That's going to bump this to the 14. And that is going to transition this to +2. Perfect. Okay. What else do they want us to do here? Step 3. Okay, so now if we look back at the character sheet, number three. So we've got our abilities all in there. We've got, appearance. Okay, the appearance box. Why is that? That seems, okay, so that's kind of why they have this, like, you could roll a 1d4 on strength and see if If you have a high strength, you could be muscular, sinewy. So it's giving you some ideas of what you could look like. Otherwise, you can just make it up, right? I'm gonna skip this. This isn't that important. And what I would probably do personally is I would go online, look for, like, do a Google image search for fantasy druid or D&D druid or something, find a cool picture and just like literally paste that picture in here or share it on Discord or whatever. And then I could always come back and add some details later. Okay. Step 4. Choose alignment. Alignment is shorthand for your character's moral compass. This is another one where I think we can just sort of gloss over it a little bit. You can come back to this section in the book and read through and think about your character's backstory and like how they behave in the world. I'm going to do well, actually, I think a lot of times it says neutral, for example, is well, they actually changed the definitions in here, but I believe like true neutral used to be listed as like druids. So is there a box? Probably just put it in. Oh yeah, there is a little thing at the bottom here. So yeah, let's just do neutral. Okay. That is our alignment. It does give some ideas about alignment. So for example, I did neutral, which could be considered selfish, disinterested, laconic, or pragmatic. And you could also roll on that to see which one you are to help you get an idea of what your character's like. Okay, fill in the details. Step 5. I think this is the last step. Using the choices you've made, fill in the remaining details of your character sheet. Maybe we should just go top to bottom and check it all out. So, good. No subclass yet. No experience yet. Armor class. Well, okay. Armor class, we have to go to the equipment section, which is... Oh god, where is it? Somewhere. Multi-classing. Oh, we can roll for a trinket. That's kind of fun. Let's see. How do I reset this? Okay, roll 1d10. And then add in another one. 15. 15 is a bright green feather. Okay. I'm going to put that in my inventory. I guess that's kind of fitting. Bright green feather. Trinket. Okay. Okay, where was equipment? Let me see if I can find it super fast here. Here we go. Now, I have leather armor, which is 11 plus dex modifier for my armor class. So 11 plus my dex modifier of +2 puts me at a 13 armor class. I am probably... I think I have a shield, right? But I am not... I do. I don't know if I'll actually use it very often, so I'm going to leave this unchecked, and I'm going to leave... If I checked it, it means my shield's equipped, and my armor class would jump up to 15. But since I'm going to be casting spells, I'm not going to really be frontlining. I'll probably two-hand my quarterstaff. I'm going to keep the shield off. Leather armor's light, so that is good in terms of being proficient with that type of armor. Okay. My hit points. Where did they cover that? I think that would have been at the beginning of the druid. Talks about hit point die. Why doesn't it talk about my hit points? That's weird. I feel like something's missing here. Hit points, step 5. Well, my hit dice, my max would be, so the hit die, it says in the druid section, D8 per druid level. I'm at level 1, so I'm going to have 1 D8. And I've currently spent 0, so I could just put, I guess I could put that there. Death saves, not relevant because we're not doing anything yet. They must have moved hit points maybe to like a general section, like how to calculate it. Let's see. Choose your species. Level, XP, armor training. What the heck? Where is it? I mean, they can't possibly have forgotten. Oh, okay. Back to step 5 in the book. Fill in the numbers, and here is a bunch of information about filling in the additional numbers. For example, they talk about armor class. They talk about initiative. Here we go. Write your dexterity modifier in the space for initiative. So my modifier is +2. Okay. Yeah, that's confusing because in the 2014 version, if you go to, let's see, was it the, I think it was the class, not the race. Let's see here. They had that listed, yeah, like in the class features section here. It says hit points at first level and how to calculate it. So they've moved it from the class to just like sort of this general section. Okay, well, hit points. Your class and constitution modifier determine your hit point maximum at level 1 as shown in the level 1 hit points by class table. So druid is 8 plus con modifier. My con is +2, so my max health is 10. Bandit, don't eat that. Puppy's eating a toy. Okay, current hit points are going to be 10 out of 10. Sweet. And okay, let's see. Passive perception, 10 plus wisdom perception check modifier. So 13, 10 plus 3. Heroic inspiration. I'm not going to start with that, but my DM might give out heroic inspiration as we play. Spell save DC, 8 plus spellcasting ability modifier plus proficiency bonus. So that is going to be 8 plus 3, 11, plus 2 proficiency. So what is that total? 8 plus 5. Okay. So 13. And then my spell attack bonus, spellcasting ability plus proficiency. So that was the +5. 3 plus 2. Cool. I feel like we got all the big items. Nothing, no magic items to attune to. Obviously, it would add more spell descriptions later. Yeah, this looks great. I think we did it. Okay. Well, obviously, if you have the book, you can double check everything. You can read through all the stuff. It's possible I missed something, but does give some additional questions too about final character details. So you could add in all sorts of interesting things, more notes, all that type of good stuff. Yeah, you could also have maybe some starting gold. I think they used to do like, you could roll to see how much just spending money you might start with. You could do stuff like that. I would double check with your DM, make sure that's okay. But yeah, I feel like we did it. Cool. All right, well, I'm gonna call it there because this video is getting long. Hopefully that's helpful though. Like if you followed along, you should be able to build any character based on what we just did here. And that was a good exercise for me too, like learning how the new layout of the book and seeing some of the new items. So yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you next time.